Dads Worldwide. The first word in family management, family budgeting, insurance, bills, food, vacations, research and development, homework, emails, phone calls. Last week we tried to do an oil change and ended up with a new car. Security. Doors are locked, windows shut, house alarm is set. Fingerless gloves. Dads Worldwide. Loyal listeners, possibly you.
Hey, welcome to another episode of Dads Worldwide. We will make you laugh and make you cry. Most certainly, somehow, someway, try to make you a better parent. I am your most humble host, Brendan, and he's back. The host of Pop Culture Podcast, Ask It Anything, the sultan of gravity beards, everything gravity beards. It is Chris Green.
I've been on the edge of my seat, pins and needles, whatever you want to say, for the better part of the last 2 hours, probably, waiting to find out if the actual co-host of the show was actually going to show up tonight.
Yes. He chose basketball over this, you know? I mean, what are you going to do?
I think it would make him sound a lot better if we said that he chose his son.
So he chose basketball over this.
I mean, he's watching it with his son.
Yeah, no, he definitely did.
His message definitely said, "I have to watch a game with Stryker."
Right. Yes, yeah, so. But I mean, you of all people shouldn't be cutting him some slack because we, in the last episode, we said, crazy. Chris is choosing his children over this show. We see where his priorities are at. I mean.
Yeah.
Fair to.
Well, and I don't even like my kids that much, but I just feel obligated because I am technically dad, right? Like I mean, they're partially here because of me. Yeah.
Air quoted the dad thing. I'm.
Well, I mean, some people refer to me, and I find this very offensive, but they call me a dino, dad in name only. I find that very offensive. Because like I'm showing up, like we just had spring break. I took them places. We did stuff. I was nice to them. I fed them food.
Are you referring to you as that? I mean, that's not cool.
I don't think so either. But I've been taking a lot of direct shots. I'm taking some stray bullets, including from you guys. So I mean, hey, I've got thick skin. So just bring it on. I'll take it from you. I'll take it from them. I'm taking it from all sides.
All sides, yeah.
Mm-hmm. I'm fighting a multi-front war. If that sounds familiar, Brendan.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Why?
I don't know what I'm referring to. I'm not referring to anything specific by saying that. I'm just saying that.
Well, yeah, because there's no war going on. There's an expeditionary military action or something like that, but there's no war.
I heard the word excursion, which sounds like a
excursion. Yes, you're right. It sounds fun. It sounds fun. Excursions are fun, right? Like we can go there and just hang out.
I've only heard the word excursion used in a context where it's super fun for everyone involved.
Yeah, so it must be a good time.
Yeah, that only is fun for everybody, for every single person, no matter what their relationship is to it.
Sign up your local recruiter's office for an excursion.
Yeah, I couldn't believe it. I mean, I actually, when I heard that quote and that word came out of his mouth in reference to what's going on, when he said the word excursion, it occurred to me, I thought, when he actually said that, when the word excursion, like did he plan that remark in any kind of advance at all, or did he literally choose the word excursion as he was forming the sentence, and then after he finished the sentence, having said the word excursion, was he in his mind, was he like high-fiving himself like, yep, nailed it, that's exactly the word I wanted to use?
Well, yeah, I mean, he doesn't I don't think he ever doesn't give himself a high five.
So like not even he in any moment at all, even that moment, did he say maybe excursion wasn't the right word?
No, because he would have corrected himself just afterward. He would have said something else differently. He probably said excursion 5 times after that. He knew that was a good word. He was like, stealth. Yeah.
Yeah. He's like, nailed it.
Fucking nailed it.
You don't think maybe he thought, no, maybe I should have gone European and used the word holiday?
No, I think that's just too, like on the head. Like he was just like, people are gonna think, people are gonna think beaches. We're not thinking beaches. We're thinking the desert. So
A lot of sand.
a lot of sand.
A lot of sand.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, obviously, it was very regretful that I couldn't make the show last week. I always hate it when I miss.
Yeah.
The great thing for me, anyways, maybe not for you or for the audience, but now it's kind of flipped where it's rare that I don't make it, whereas before I only came on occasionally. Now I occasionally miss.
Yeah.
So
there you go.
I'm only the beneficiary of that new situation. However, I can't avoid spring break. Spring break's important.
Of course.
All joking aside, it went really well. I did do a lot of fun things with my kids. Everyone really enjoyed it. I don't think I dominated spring break quite as much as I dominated Christmas, because I really crushed Christmas. I mean, I'll just flat out, I think I probably said this back then. I won Christmas. I'm like, you can compare your Christmas to the way I handled Christmas, and I'm sure you did fine. I'm not saying you did a bad job. I'm just saying I did much, much better.
Just call me Chris, actually. I mean,
my name is the first half of Christmas. So again, I think most of my friends and families and whatever, they all did great. I'm not criticizing your Christmas. So your Christmas might be like right here, which is good, because a bad Christmas is way down here. Maybe not, maybe off the screen. And yours is way up here. A really good Christmas. Mine's up here though. My Christmas was up here.
Yeah. Also off,
can't even see it.
But like way higher.
Way higher. Yeah. Yeah. For those that aren't viewing our show tonight.
I'm trying to give the visuals. You air quoted a couple times, and I'm like, okay, well, people need to know that.
Yeah. But spring break right here in the middle of the screen where you can see it.
That's right. Like you want to, like, you don't want to always kill it, right? Because then they like expect it all the time, right? Like, so you gotta bring it down a notch. I didn't
even think about that, but that's actually brilliant.
You got to keep those expectations a little bit low, so when you do really kill it, they're like, "Oh my god, the best thing ever!" You know what I mean? So like, you can't. Yeah.
I don't even really need you to tell me that, because I've just forgotten, because I'm all about managing everyone's expectations around me. So, I'm very aware of that concept. But thanks for the reminder, because I couldn't agree with you more. I think it's really important.
Well, we were told that you and Jaqueline recorded a podcast tonight. How did that go?
You know what? Thank you for that transition. That's exactly where I was going to go next.
All right, let's do this.
Well, and just set up just very briefly.
Yeah.
This would have been harder had Tony been here, but since it's just the two of us, presumably I'm going to get more time. And actually, because of my absence, I have several things I want to cover.
Oh, all right. Here we go.
Because I've been gone. So this is a great place to start, though. So super bad news.
Oh, no.
So Jehoshaphat's mom is in really bad health.
Oh.
And so he texted me and said, "Hey, I got to spend the day with my mom."
Yeah, of course.
I said, we weren't supposed to record till 3. And he's like, "Yeah, but I'm not going to be in a great mood after that. I'm going to be pretty drained."
Yeah.
Totally understandable.
Yeah.
And I was like, "Well, get your ass over here. I don't care." No, I didn't say that. I said, I did not say that at all, because his mom really is not doing well. And I feel very badly. That's a tough situation when your parents are in decline. His dad passed away a while ago, but so I was like, yeah, of course. And so, bad news, it didn't happen today. Good news, it's happening tomorrow. So,
okay. Well, you're talking about the podcast recording.
Just the recording, yeah. Just start. And really, the way we work is just our recording session. It really has nothing to do with when I'm putting out content.
Yes.
Really, I would love to be the same podcaster I've been for years, where I'm putting out great content on a regular schedule. Say weekly or even bi-weekly. I can't promise that anymore. My life is in such upheaval, with no end of that in sight, that I'm just going to tell the audience, the small number that it is, I'm going to put out as good of content as I'm able, when I'm able to do it. And I don't like that, because I know how to podcast and I know how to put out good content on a good schedule, but I'm just not in a place where I can do that right now.
Well, I mean, that's fair. That's fair.
True. Now,
And-
item number 2, which is
Yeah.
related. So another piece of good news.
All
So
right.
an update on Real Estate Raconteurs, which is my
Ooh.
upcoming storytelling podcast that's coming out. I'm going to put out a promo email March 25th. That's next week. And then I'm going to put out the trailer on April 1st. And then the first episode of season 1 is going to be April the 8th. However, on Wednesday or Thursday, whatever, I think Wednesday, this past week,
Yep.
I already recorded the first episode of season 2, which is going to come out this fall. And this is actually one of the items where I wish Tony was here because I think he would appreciate this. But so the guy that I interviewed, I went to his office around 4:00 in the afternoon. A buddy of mine was supposed to join me. He's also the first interview I did for season 1, which will come out on April the 8th, like I said. However, he's been diagnosed with throat cancer. So he had to have surgery, didn't make it to the recording. Don't know when he'll be able to come back on. However, his surgery went great. They got all the cancer. That's the good news. The bad news is he still has to go through like 6 weeks of radiation and chemo.
Oh my God.
Which is unbelievable. I've never experienced, thank goodness, I've never experienced that personally myself. But the people that I do know have gone through it. It's one of the worst things you could possibly experience. So obviously thinking a lot about him. So he's doing as well as he can be, but he's heading towards 6 weeks of really rough treatment. Anyway, that's kind of a downer. But so the guy that I went and interviewed is a big wine guy. Like he's a big wine connoisseur. And so when I got there, and we talked about with a few of our guests, hey, we're gonna drink bourbon or whiskey or whatever, but he's a wine guy, so I knew he'd bust out some wine. So I get there, he's got this bottle of wine, he's got the 2 glasses, and he's like, yeah, let's bust it open, let's have some wine. And I actually really enjoy wine. Like I've come to enjoy whiskey more recently, but I've enjoyed wine for quite a long time. I don't even care. I don't care if it's a red or a white. I probably lean towards red. But I a good wine's a good wine. I don't care. And I'm not concerned about pairings with food. I don't care about any of that. Just pour it, serve it up. I love it. And so he gets out this bottle of wine and he says, you can't really get this in stores. I was like, okay, tell me more.
Yeah.
And so he serves up. I don't know if you can see this tell me if you can see this on the screen. You can't see it, can you?
Can't see the label.
How about now?
Oh, yeah, we
Little
can see it, but I can't read it from here. So.
Okay. Well, yeah, it's just tough to read in the light that I've got. But anyways, it's called Rhys, RHYS. I think it's a California red. I think. I can't read it either. Anyways, this is the wine that he busts out, and so I started drinking it. Some of the best wine I've ever had in my entire life. Now, again, I haven't had a lot of wine, but I've had enough. I'd have enough to make a distinction. Yeah. This is probably the most delicious wine I've ever had. And so I didn't get to look it up until later. In fact, I didn't look it up at all. I texted a friend of mine who was also into wine and who knows the guy that I interviewed. And he does some quick research because he's also into wine, but he gets his wine off of this website maybe where you can order wine. Mm-hmm. Guess how much and by the way, the reason I'm holding this is because we drank this much, the 2 of us, during the interview. And then he gave me, probably 20, there's about 25% left, maybe a little bit more. That he just said, hey, why don't you take the rest? I was like, sweet, thanks. But you can't buy this in a store. I live in Dallas. You cannot buy this here in this city. Okay. So my buddy sends me back a snapshot, a screenshot. Guess how much this bottle of wine costs?
100.
More.
200.
This is a $400 bottle of wine. That's what he served up. He just had this in his office. He's like, I stumbled across this, thought I'd bust it out. Here, have some. $400 bottle of wine is what he served me, and then sent me home with the rest of it. And so Tony's usually the one that gets to do this, and I guess you do occasionally.
Yes.
But I'm going to drink. I don't think I'll finish it because I'm a lightweight, and I'd be more than just a little tipsy if I drank the rest of this. But I am going to drink some of this delicious wine while we record.
And I want you all to know that he just poured that in a solo cup.
Well, that's because Yes, I did. That's true. I'm not going to deny that. That's correct. However, and I'm not going to reveal the reason, but I no longer own wine glasses. I'm just going to put that out there.
Yeah.
I used to own wine glasses until a few months ago. Now I no longer own wine glasses, but I do own Solo cups.
There you go. Yep.
So I could have poured it into a vintage 1970s Flash Gordon glass, promotional glass.
Ooh.
I thought about that, and I also have from Star Wars. I have a set of Star Wars glasses that were part of a Burger King promotion in the mid '80s. Could have used those.
Nice.
But instead, I went Solo cup. Okay,
right.
so I've got a couple other things.
All right, here we go.
I brought notes because I was going to forget.
Okay.
Okay, so the next thing is, you guys in our thread. This didn't come up on the show. This is in our thread.
Yep.
I don't even know how it came up, but both of you shared stories about how you recently got into altercations online with people, and
Yeah.
those were great.
I took screenshots of the thing that I actually wanted to talk about that, but yeah, go ahead.
Okay, well, we can get to that as soon as I'm done. But I also had an experience like this, but mine was kind of strange. So on one of my previous podcasts that I'm no longer doing, called This Week Today, we had a pretty robust call-in hotline where people called in, tons of calls. We got a bunch of calls. It was really fun. And then I don't even remember. Somehow I ended up friends with this person on Twitter that went by the name Peter DeVilbiss, but that wasn't his real name. I learned later that he got it from a character from the 1980s, like nighttime soap opera Dynasty. I got literally a character named Peter DeVilbiss. Anyway, this guy's just got a big online presence. He doesn't want his real identity revealed. He was very protective of it. And we kind of got to be friends, and he used to call into the show all the time. He was really funny. But he's a really strange dude. Like, he's a middle-aged guy, and he's single, and he lives in this apartment in Brooklyn, and he's like a copywriter, and he like works overnight, and strange dude, right? Very active online, like his entire social life. Like, he doesn't date anybody. He doesn't, not in any relationships. He has a small select group of friends, but very few. And he just goes to concerts all the time, constantly going to concerts, everywhere from small shows like around New York where he lives, all up to like big bands like Metallica and large shows. I think he's Puerto Rican or Dominican or something like that. But also one thing that he did is at some point he like gave me his phone number, and we started having these phone calls, and I would talk to him for like a couple of hours on the phone. And I did that many times. So even though he was anonymous and he was just kind of an online friend, I'd never met him in person. I guess I would call him some version of a friend, like kind of a modern day friend. At one point, he invited Adam and I up to New York to go see, I think, what was going to be a Prince cover band. Nice. Maybe a Prince cover band at a club where he used to go, where he goes to shows all the time, which means we were going to meet him in person. And of course, I guess unless he just didn't tell us his real name, we were at least going to meet him in person. I don't know if he would have told us his real name or not. But anyway, so I had his phone number. This was going to be this big reveal. I think because of my health issues or something, I didn't get to go. We didn't get to go up there, and Adam couldn't work. Adam has a crazy traveling work schedule, and so he couldn't go, but I was going to go by myself. He even sent me, I think I still have the envelope, tickets to the show. Like, he sent me my ticket for the show.
Whoa.
Like, he paid for it and sent it to me. And then I think I had to back out because of my health issues. I think. Anyway, that didn't go down, but I had his phone number. And like, anytime somebody's like hardcore trying to, keep their identity secret, you're like, I got to do some sleuthing. So I think I tracked down in my career, the work that I do, I have resources available to me. Not like police or authorities like that. I don't have those kind of resources, but I have next kind of below that level resources to maybe track a person down and figure out who they are. I just have to do that in the course of my work. And so I think I pretty definitively tracked down who he was and like found his apartment and all that kind of stuff. So I don't know when I was going to reveal that to him. Maybe never, because I don't know, that would probably just upset him because he's very protective of his identity. But that's a side part of the story that I think I actually discovered his real identity. And Adam was pretty convinced too. Anyway, fast forwarding to this issue, reason I'm bringing this up because of your stories about getting blocked or having online altercations. So this guy's kind of a friend of mine. I've known him a long time. We've talked on the phone probably half a dozen times for a couple hours each, really long phone conversations. So he posts on. So it was during the time when Elon Musk had bought Twitter and was changing the name to X. So he bought it and now he's doing the name change. And
Yep.
Mark Hamill, who played Luke Skywalker, posted something, and then Peter, I'm doing air quotes again, responded something about blah blah blah. This X, basically said, hey, it's still Twitter, it's still called tweeting, blah blah blah. This X, and he said this X guy is a boob. That was the end of his tweet. And so I just thought, I'm just going to make a funny response. So I went and screenshot at the time Elon Musk's net worth. And I said, well, he boobed his way to this. And at the time, his net worth was like, I don't know, 200 billion or something, or 150 billion. It was a big number, but not near as big as it is today. So I just said, well, he boobed his way to this. And I kind of chuckled to myself because I just used boobed as a verb. And I thought that was funny, but it was just a complete low-hanging softball stupid joke, right? Like just a throwaway joke. It meant nothing to me. Like in a little way, I was pushing back a little bit. Because also I'm personally glad that Elon Musk bought Twitter, because I feel like he's opened up. I know it's loaded with bots, but at least it's more of a free speech platform than it was before. I think we would agree on that.
Yeah.
So I'm at least thankful for that. I don't have strong feelings about Elon Musk, and I'm never on Twitter, so I don't really care.
Yeah.
So it was a little bit of a shot, but more it was just like I just used boobed as a verb. And so I sent the tweet back, and he blocks me. He blocks, like he's really mad about my response. He blocks me, and I've got 13 Twitter accounts, so he can't really block me. And so I'm like, wait a second, I can't see Peter on Twitter anymore. So I use one of my other many accounts. And like, oh yeah, because every time he blocks somebody, he then tweets, with usually a bunch of F-bombs. Don't come at me. If you do even the smallest thing, I won't hesitate to block you. You're out. And like, okay, that's super weird. Like that's all it took. Are you kidding me?
Yeah. So, I mean, like if you're truly a friend, right? Like, come on. Like I don't.
That's what I was thinking. But yeah. So he basically said, hey, this isn't Meet the Press. I'm not going to debate you or defend my tweet. Blah 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 blah. I'm blocking you. I'm like, wow. After all, and the reason I told the whole story is so that it would have that context. I was like, we kind of were friends.
Yeah, like what the heck, dude?
For a while, like you didn't even have to respond to my tweet, or you can give it a thumbs down or an angry, but like to block me on Twitter, and because in his mind, he's like erased me from his life. It's not just blocking me on Twitter. Like you're out. Like everything we've established up to that point, whatever friendship or you want to call it, it's over, and we're never going to interact with each other ever again the rest of our lives.
Yeah, I mean that's way deeper than the interaction that I had. Like, I mean, I don't know this guy that I had the interaction with. So this is on my local page. It's only to be for residents of my town, what he apparently is not. But he posted, this guy posted a meme of well, I gotta pull it up because I don't want to really butcher it, but it was
I
about
love the story, by the way.
Yeah.
I like Tony's too. I wish he was here to tell his.
Yeah. Well, hopefully Tony jumps in here shortly after that game is done. But
yeah, his was insane. His guy just lost his mind.
Yeah. Yeah, that was pretty crazy.
That guy went unhinged.
Yeah, I was like, I just asked the guy. I mean, it was kind of like same thing. It was kind of like a smart aleck, response on my part, but like nothing that should have really equated to that much of an angry response,
right?
But it was in regards to the whole 30,000 people been killed by Iran. The protesters been killed by Iran. So I just simply asked, like, oh, so man who ordered the deaths of 30,000 Iranians now dead. Like, so they killed another Iranian
Right.
leader, right? So my exact comment was, you still believe that bullshit number 30K? Like, so, like, I mean, it was not nice, but it wasn't like, I'm like, I mean, I guess I'm in an inadvertent way, I'm calling him stupid, right? But not really.
Well, your comment was definitely more provocative. I mean, it was the same style as mine, basically calling him out on, but
Yeah, I
it was
mean,
a little stronger, more provocative than mine was.
yeah, I mean, but okay, but let's be serious. Like the whole protest lasted less than a week and they killed 30,000 people. That's just, if you believe that, I don't even know what to tell you. I'm like, that's just fucking insane. Like, you'd have to have mass grave. Like, you're telling me that, like, that wouldn't be able to be corroborated. And if you actually look at all the news articles, it's just not corroborated. Like, they're all estimates. Every article you read on that number, it says experts estimate. Like, there's nothing that says that this is proven here. Like, so that's what I'm just saying. Like, it could be 30K, it could be 60K. I doubt it. I absolutely doubt it. But like, there's no article, there's no news source out there that can tell you 100% for sure that this is a legit number, especially since after that whole thing, it's been proven without a shadow of a doubt that, one, the Mossad was involved. Two, it was definitely disruptors. Like Mossad was paying people to be there, and they were using Starlink to do this whole thing, and the US also funded the Starlink. So this wasn't just like a natural protest like that just came up out of whole cloth and just like started like so. Like, but either way, like, the number of people that died, I just question it. Like, come on, like, you don't really believe this, do you? And his initial response was, "Why are you a terrorist sympathizing POS?"
I had the same question when you shared your response. So
yeah,
I'm glad
we're covering that. We're covering that. Yeah. Okay. And then his next comment, right? 2 seconds afterwards, like he didn't even wait. Some sort of know-it-all Iranian intel specialist ? So I let it go. I just said, okay, whatever. He's not gonna answer the question. Another guy says, let me guess, MSNBC said the number is much lower. That he said that he directed that at me. This is another guy on the thread. I just said, listen, man, I wouldn't know. I don't watch MSNBC. So then the guy that did the post, we'll call him Aaron.
All right.
He said, why don't you show some of the quote unquote plenty of articles out there that say the 30K number isn't corroborated then? Because I had posted it. I had said that the number is just not corroborated on it. Someone else commented who was actually nice. So I actually answered them.
Right.
So I said to the guy, because I'm not obligated to do research on your behalf, especially for someone who would rather call me names than have a discussion. So
I've responded. I've been in online arguments where I've said, why would I do your research for you?
Yeah. I'm like, just take 2 seconds, dude. Like, read a little bit.
I think one time I sarcastically posted a link to just the Google main page.
Yeah.
To him asking where I got my information from. I searched the internet.
Yeah. Just, you can do it. Just go on.
You can do it too. It's right here.
Do it. Just punch in the little thing, the Google machine. You got it. Got it, buddy.
Yeah.
So from there he said, well, aren't you sensitive, especially for someone who started cussing in the first sentence? Well, the record will show you can't back up your nonsense comments with any factual citations. Enjoy your lack of obligation. I was like, okay. I said, Aaron.
Do you think a human being's ever said the sentence "enjoy your lack of obligation"?
Yeah, I mean, I've seen it firsthand now, so I think,
I love that sentence though.
yeah, yeah. So, so I responded with, I cussed out a number. I cussed about a number. You attacked my character. Two very different things. Not sensitive at all. I just chose not to engage with rude people. Uh, speaking of sensitive, though, you were the one that sent two angry comments to a simple question of whether or not you believe a BS number. So, and then I wrote, "Oh no, the Facebook record is going to show that I can't back up my comments. Oh no. However, will I live with myself, guy? I don't know and don't care what you think." So I gotta admit I got a little salty, but I was just sarcastic. Just which is what New England people are, really good at.
Yeah.
So he went on to say your character is shit. You side with Iran. They have been funding terrorist groups for the last 2 decades with our tax money. I don't know how Iran is funding people with our tax money, but okay. Killing and maiming people. That's good because you're a beta and there's no way you can hang with me in reality. I would crush you in every aspect. You are a coward, a fraud, a POS, terrorist sympathizer, and a traitor to our country. You are the lowest of low, and I would have no trouble taking these freedoms that you trample on from you. You are a disgrace. Yeah, I know. You are a disgrace, and I'm sure your parents are just so disappointed in the absolute despicable human that you have become. You should keep your stupid trap shut when you are talking to real patriots. Filthy scumbag, coward, POS.
Wow. Goodness.
Yes. This is not the best part.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Which I then responded, you have anger issues and should talk to someone about it.
You know what I would have said?
Yeah.
Guess who's not invited to Thanksgiving this year?
Yeah. Yeah. So that's not the best part. The best part is this fellow decided to cyber stalk me. And yes, which is fine. He decided that he wanted to figure out who he was messing with. So he found a Father's Day post that I did 2 years ago and decided to post on that. Which, yeah, it was really kind of weird. So he posted, he said, I hope to meet you one day because I will smash the fucking beans out of you. Silly bitch, coward, scumbag, POS terrorist, sympathizer. May the good Lord let me see you one day. A reckoning is what you deserve.
Jeez, dude.
On my profile. So I responded, why are you so angry? So
someone needs a hug.
Yeah. So I chose the high road, folks. I don't know if you're seeing this here. I'm choosing the high road here. I'm choosing the high road.
At this point, did you respond back to him on the Father's Day post?
Yes. Yeah. He posted this on my page, like on my personal.
Then you responded back to that.
Yes, on the personal
2-year-old post.
Yep, absolutely.
That's weird. That is weird of him. That's very weird.
So then he said, why would you abandon your country, your people? Why would you support one of the most evil countries in the world? They kill their own people who disagree with the regime. You use your freedom of speech to support a terrorist foreign country, all while there are good people there celebrating in the streets while you tear down our armed forces. They're the ones who protect, quote unquote, your freedom. Freedom isn't free. You disgrace them when you show your support for our enemies. Makes me sick. You want to help? Start supporting the progress of our people, our soldiers, our leaders who protect, quote unquote, again, your freedom and rights, not spreading hate and discontent. Have a blessed day.
Okay, so just a reminder for the listener.
Yeah.
All of this is in response to you calling BS to just one number
What
in one
number?
story.
Just asking him if he truly believes this BS number. I didn't like, you're this dumb motherfucker. Like, I didn't be like, hey, dumb motherfucker, you really believe this stupid bullshit? No, I didn't say that. I just said you still believe this BS number. 32, like 30,000 people.
That one brief response about that, just acting a little skeptical of that one number, got
Yep.
you all of this.
Yep, that was it. And
That
so
is crazy.
my last response was, so where have I shown support for Iran? Where have I torn down the armed forces?
Yeah, see, I
But-
would have responded with, hey, when's your birthday? Because I want to get you a restraining order.
Well, I mean, I'm just like, obviously, like nothing he said is true. Like I've not said any of this. I've not torn down our armed forces. I've done none of this. So I basically just asked him, like where have I torn down the armed forces? How is starting a war with Iran protecting mine or your freedom? Like how or where have I spread hate? I simply asked you if you believe a BS 30K number. You assumed all of that from one question and then threatened to assault me. The truth is, the truth is, I've done nothing you're accusing me of, and I simply asked you a question you didn't like. You also have a blessed day.
See, I would have saved.
He did not respond. He has not responded.
Oh, well, that's a shame. Well, I would have saved all of those words, and I just would have said, so you're saying you do believe the number?
Yeah.
I guess with all of that, you're saying yes. Yeah. The answer is yes.
Yes.
I said you could have just said yes.
And since then he has posted so many garbage posts. And I gotta say, I again have chosen the high road and just not responded to any of them because I'm like, I just don't have the energy. Like I work really hard during the day. I don't have time to be like going back and forth with people. And but I also don't have the self-restraint to not go back and forth with people. so I'm just like okay, if I see a notification I gotta look at it, so it's like so yeah, so I just left it alone from there. But yeah, he can't answer me because obviously I've literally said none of those things. I've never torn down the armed forces or any of that. Do I believe that they're doing a righteous thing by bombing Iran? No, I don't. Are they doing what they're told to do? Yes, they are. And I understand that, but no, it just, yeah, it's absurd. I mean, this guy is absurd. I think his last post on my page proved that he kind of calmed down, and when he told me to have a blessed day, I'm like, oh, he's trying to smooth it over, like even though like he's a jackass, but like he's trying to smooth it over. But
yeah, so to make up for like 300 really horrible words towards you, he's gonna make up for it with 4 very nice words.
It's like in the South when they say "bless his heart," like they don't, like,
or that's adorable.
They just say a bunch of shit to you. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
they like absolute bunch of shit to you, but they're just like, well, bless his heart.
Yeah, of course. I live in just bless his heart country, so
territory. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so I know exactly what you're talking about. No, that's crazy. That man should get a visit from the police for that rhetoric right there.
Dude, he put that in public. Like he said that in public
with his own name
multiple times. Oh yeah, and his name's really Aaron, by the way. So he just like, it blew me away. I was like, wow, he just threatened to punch me in the face in public. And I'm like, listen, I was like, listen, dude, you probably win the fight, but I'll scratch the shit out of you. So listen, I don't know the guy, and I don't feel threatened at all, really, because he's just a keyboard warrior when it comes down to it.
Right.
But,
I think it would have been really funny for you to respond with, hey, a simple yes would have been fine.
Yeah, maybe I'll do that later.
You could have just said yes.
Yeah.
Saved a lot of effort by both of us.
Yeah. yeah, we wouldn't have had to go through all this stuff, and you wouldn't have to cyber stalk me on a post that I made 2 years ago on Father's Day.
Yeah, that's very not good behavior on his part.
Yep. Yeah.
Okay, well, I'm gonna continue down my list. That was a
Okay.
crazy story.
Thank you.
But I did enjoy that a lot, and I wish Tony was here to throw in his story because it's also quite good.
I think his is even crazier.
I don't know. I didn't know all of that on your story. That's pretty
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah.
But so this pertains probably or is more interesting to you maybe than Tony. But Brendan, I actually have a small number of small home improvement repairs that I have to make around my house.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, it's actually going to involve, in one case, a little bit of masonry work.
Whoa.
In another case, very minor plumbing repair.
Whoa.
I've got carpenter ants. I've got to get rid of those.
Oh.
So I got some stuff going on over here.
Yeah, that's the trouble with the South, man. You guys have insects that like bore a lot.
Yeah, we got the termites and then all manner of rodents. I mean, you can get possums and squirrels and rats and all kinds of things. As a matter of fact, a close friend of mine that I work with, he had a kitchen fire at his house, so he's out of his house for a while because they got to repair that. But very soon, like within days of his kitchen fire, his next door neighbor's house burned to the ground.
Holy shit.
And the reason it burned to the ground is because some sort of mouse or rodent chewed an electrical wire that sparked an electrical fire and burned it to the ground.
Oh my God.
So while he's like, "Oh my gosh, my kitchen fire, we gotta, that's not good." His neighbor's like, "Hold my beer," because his entire house burned down.
That's awful.
Not good, not good. Also, so here's the thing. So on our one of our podcasts, the one with me and Justin, it's called Ask It Anything, where we ask AI questions. One of the questions we asked was, can you be lactose intolerant and then not be lactose intolerant? And so I was like, hey, because my kids eat pizza and ice cream all the time. It's like their favorite thing to eat.
Yeah.
And I'm a horrible father, so I feed them pizza and ice cream all the time. The problem with that for me is that pizza and ice cream are two of my favorite foods. So basically, I'm just taunting myself by watching my 3 children eat pizza and ice cream in front of me when I cannot eat pizza and ice cream.
Oh yeah.
So I was like, well, I wonder if I'm still lactose intolerant, because I've done a lot of work to try to repair my gut because I've had gut issues for a lot of years. And so I tried a little bit. I tried a slice of cheese on a sandwich, or I don't remember what my gateway food was to test it out. But I was fine. And so then I tried a little more, and like I did that for a couple of weeks, like 2-3 weeks, until finally I just flat out ate pizza and ice cream with my kids, and I was like, kind of feel fine. Like I don't know what happened. Did a little research outside, past the podcast, besides what we did on the podcast. It turns out that it's really dairy. Most people have a problem with so. Okay, so the pivotal point that I learned was that there's a lot of dairy, like for example, most cheeses and those sorts of things, like yogurt, that are actually, they're in the dairy category, but they have very low lactose. And I never made that distinction between. I just figured all dairy was lactose. I just was using it synonymously. But it turns out that a lot of dairy products have low lactose, and it's literally a lactose intolerance. It's not a dairy intolerance. So I've been eating dairy, just loving it, and then I was totally getting away with it. I was like, man, that's amazing. I haven't eaten a lot of dairy in like 20 or 30 years. And then I don't know what happened. I don't know if it's related to that or if it's something else that I've eaten or something else I've done. Because who knows? Like health, as you know, Brendan, your health is very complex. Like it's never one thing. Like you can't just say, I don't feel good. Well, then it must be this. It's never just that. It's always a combination of things, and you got to play PI to track it down. So like the last week to 10 days, I've not been feeling that great. And and so my conclusion, the obvious conclusion is that, well, I was wrong. I can't go whole hog into dairy. Maybe I could try it occasionally, and that's better than not.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, I think I even stuff that's good for you, like you don't want to eat it all the time, right? Like that stuff, but stuff that that probably is not great for your gut, or that you've had some intolerance to it before, like
right,
you don't want to like go whole hog and eat it all the time. But if you had like a pizza once in a while, then
Right.
you'll probably be fine. But yeah, if you start eating it all the time, and you haven't been eating it at all, like, and yeah. So yeah, I think it's probably not, it's probably still not good for you. But I think if you had it like once a month or a couple
Right.
times a month, you'd
Right.
probably be okay.
Well, let's just summarize the story by saying I got way overconfident.
That's what it sounded like.
I got way overconfident. I got real cocky as it related to consuming dairy products. So,
Yeah.
but and also I'll just acknowledge to the listener, this is the most old man topic to talk about ever.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
like
Yeah.
me getting cocky about dairy consumption that's not a young man's topic.
Yeah.
But anyway, that happened. And then here's my last topic before we move on to anything else we want to talk about. And this is also a topic that I definitely wish that Tony was here for. Now, not that this doesn't apply to you in maybe even a small way, but this is definitely Tony's thing. But another thing, and this is related also to my health journey. So I've been in chronic pain for like the last 5 or 6 years. I might have mentioned that on the show. And part of that is, unfortunately, is what I discovered. And I think it's a huge contributor, I think, is stress. Like, I think I discovered that, like I've been in fight or flight mode for like a few years now, which, just pause on that for a second, because the very nature of fight or flight mode, which should be something that kicks in for a moment, you feel a stress or an anxiety, and then it resolves itself, and then you leave fight or flight mode. That's how it's supposed to function, how your body's supposed to. But if you're at elevated stress for a prolonged period of time, apparently you can find yourself in kind of a semi-permanent fight or flight mode, which means that your cortisone levels and other chemicals in your body and brain, they elevate, but then they don't come back down to default levels. So I've been experiencing some version of that. The side effect or the manifestation of that is that I basically have, and you can decide for yourself, what do you think this means, kind of a dysregulated nervous system where it's really sensitive. I have a very sensitive nervous system. The way I've experienced that is for example, I'll just have like these pain flare-ups. Like, for example, in the past, when I've done physical therapy or I've tried to work out a little bit to try to regain my strength from my surgery 2.5 years ago, if I try to like work out in any way, sometimes that'll trigger a big pain flare-up. And I was like, well, that's a bit of a catch-22, because I have to start exercising so I can, this sounds crazy, but I have to build my muscle mass back up even to a normal level after the surgery that I had 2 years ago. And it's been very frustrating. So I actually started trying to work, and I did 2 periods of physical therapy for 6 months each. And I still had these pain issues, and I just quit. Like a year ago, I just quit. And so like 3 weeks ago, maybe 4 weeks ago, I used AI actually to put together a 7-day home workout plan that I could do in 30 minutes or less, just some simple home exercises with no special equipment.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been successfully doing this 7-day workout for probably 3 or 4 weeks now with no pain issues, just normal muscle soreness like anybody else would have. So
Great.
How's that for a sweet victory? Like, that's a big deal. I haven't been able to do that in a few years.
Yeah, man, that's awesome.
Yeah. So I don't have, like, Tony's the workout guy. Like, he posts videos. In fact, I think he posted one this morning of his workouts. Now, obviously I can't do anything nearly what Tony's doing, but so I'll compared to Tony. So compared to what Tony does, which is very impressive actually. So you got Tony over here, over here. I'm holding my hand out to the right. On the other side, you've got elderly people doing chair aerobics, right? I'm like just beyond elderly people doing chair aerobics. That's the level that I'm doing. But I had to start somewhere. But I've worked out now for 3 or 4 weeks, no issues.
If we're talking about like how you nailed Christmas and now no, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
So in terms of how much I crushed Christmas,
yeah,
and then how I did kind of an okay spring break,
yeah,
not as good as Christmas, better than spring break. Let's just on that spectrum.
Put it on there.
Yeah, I'm in between how I handled spring break versus how I handled Christmas. So, yeah, I know. Listen, hey, if you don't have enough context for this, for the people that are listening, like, okay, so you're doing a 30-minute workout by yourself. Like, believe it or not, this is a huge deal for me. So this is a
Yeah,
victory.
I hope you don't mind, but when I when I met Chris, I mean,
Oh yeah, just go ahead and share.
he was on crutches, like he was barely moving at that rate. So yeah, I mean, although I hadn't, yeah, you know, so when we met in an entrepreneurs 1 week group.
Yep.
And yeah, Chris was not moving much at all. So this is huge. This is definitely huge. And
No, yeah.
Years ago.
So yeah, it was. Well, it goes back to 2023. So to give some more details, I don't remember when, but whatever. So I had hip surgery in early May of 2023. I don't remember when I joined that group, somewhere in that time. And you're supposed to be able to recover from that in a few weeks. I was on crutches for 7 months on crutches. So you can imagine, and I'm a middle-aged guy, I'm not a young guy. So you can imagine how much muscle atrophy you create with 7 months of crutches. It was significant. Like I could visually see that my left leg was smaller than my right leg. Very concerning. Yeah. In fact, it's still slightly smaller. It's not great, but it's getting better. And so we would get on there, and the great thing about that group is we get on there and we would brainstorm and help each other and come up with ideas to help with whatever it was that we were trying to accomplish. Could be work things, could be relational, could be whatever. And people gave me lots of great ideas, and I could not get off my crutches. And I finally did around Christmas time that year. But even after I got off my crutches, it still took me. So I finally went back I was out of my office for 4.5 years. I went back to the office in July. So I got off my crutches in December, went back to the office in July. But even then, like I was walking well enough to walk like short distances. I wasn't even normal walking. Like I had to choose my shoes very carefully for what I wore that day. Like I basically wore tennis shoes everywhere, like, and not just any tennis shoes. Like I even had to go to the store and buy special tennis shoes that were supportive and blah, 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 blah. But like even after 7 months on crutches, it still took me another 6 or 8 months, like to walk normally, like to where I could like walk around the block. It was crazy. Like it was a really awful experience. And so fast forward another 2 years, like it's taken me this long to be able to like do a simple, small workout, 30-minute workout at home without any significant pain. Like that's
so like you saying even 2 years ago, but like in 2 years, you've made exponential gains. Like, I mean, if you really think about it, like you're almost bedridden at one point, and now you're working out.
Oh yeah, no. When you met me, I was basically bedridden. Not entirely, not entirely.
Not entirely, but
I don't want to overstate it. But like, in order for me to be in a place where I was in as close to zero pain as I could be, I had to be laying in bed on a heat pad, and I had a laptop hooked up to the TV and all this stuff, and like it was hard for me to function like a normal person. Like I was in rough shape. Yeah. So yeah, it's taken a long time, but I've come a long way.
Oh, that's awesome, man. I'm very happy for you.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah. So there's all of my items, but I wanted to end it on a victory.
That is a huge victory. So
yeah, it is. So I'm gonna give me a few weeks when I come back on the show, and obviously I'll be here in between, but a few shows from now, I'm gonna be swole. I'm gonna be totally swole.
Gonna be so swole. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I promise. I'm promising the audience. So I'm just telling you, the audience is going to tune in to the video version of this show, because I'm gonna be jacked.
Tony will be jealous.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
That's right. Tony's gonna be asking me what my routine is. He's gonna be like, dude, what are you eating? What are you doing? What's your workout routine? And I'm gonna be happy to share it with him, because I'm gonna be jacked up.
If you don't follow the Tony G on Insta or the TikTok, you do not get to see the wonderfulness that we get to see every day. Yeah.
Well, that and his OnlyFans.
Of course. I mean, that goes without saying, really.
Yeah, I mean, well, really, just he shares his link tree on every episode. So you probably should just subscribe to his link tree.
I would think so. I mean, how are you people not doing that?
Right. You fools. You fools. But in all seriousness, I mean, listen, I look like a POW. Tony actually does look like he works out because he does, and he's actually accomplished quite a bit.
He does. Yeah.
Yeah, I look like a runway model from the 90s. He looks like a person that actually works out.
Until a couple weeks from now, and then you'll be
right,
swole.
and then I'll be swole, and he'll be jealous. Yeah, that's definitely where. Don't misunderstand me. That's definitely where
definitely what's going to happen.
Yeah, that is coming. That is imminent. For sure, no doubt about it.
Well, Chris, you messaged us and said, "Oh, I'm so sorry I missed the Iran episode." So, what are your thoughts on that? I guess we did talk about it a little bit, but what are your thoughts on? Well, I mean, we talked about that because I got threatened with violence, but I guess
yeah.
What are your thoughts on this? We kind of talked about it before the show, but I guess listening to the last episode, what are your takeaways?
Well, I did listen to the episode. Thank you for giving me an opportunity to weigh in. I guess my first thought is I'm not sure if I want to still come back on the show because apparently you're a terrorist. So
I'm a POS terrorist.
That's like a terrorist at a whole nother level. So that makes me very uncomfortable, and I'm a little bit regretful that I've been associated with the show for so long. So that's for one, is I may not be coming back because apparently you're a terrorist, and I'm not really that cool with associating with terrorists.
Yeah,
sorry.
A terrorist who did 4 years in the military and 9 years as a border patrol agent for the United States military.
Don't worry about that.
We don't want to talk about that. We don't want to talk about.
We're focused on your one very brief Facebook comment.
Yeah. Yes,
that's the entire extent of the information we're going to.
Apologies.
Yeah. So according to that one question in response to that post, you're a terrorist. So I'm going to give this some second thoughts. Aside from that, so obviously, probably like you and everyone else, I've consumed a lot of, basically in the form of podcasts, but a lot, debates, discussions, news coverage. I mean, I've consumed a lot of it because how can you not? Because it's obviously the biggest thing in the news right now. My typical instinct or tendency is to not overreact to something, and I've said this on the show and in our live streams and whatnot. I'm typically a wait and see guy. So all of the debates we've had about Trump and policies and tariffs and all the topics, I've pretty consistently been a wait and see guy. So I approach this the exact same way because, and I wasn't that confident in this, but like I was not in support of the Venezuela thing at all. But okay, he got in and out, pretty quick. That was I wish he would not have done that, but at least he was in and out. He said this is going to be an in and out thing. I'm like, I don't think so. That's not typically how Middle East stuff goes, but let's just see. But basically out of everything's transpired. When did it all start? What was the date? Do you remember what the date was when it started?
It was like 20 days from now, or 22 days. Yeah,
right. So it's been
like the beginning of the month.
Yeah, 3-ish weeks.
Yeah.
I've heard a lot of Tucker, a lot of Megyn Kelly. I've heard some Joe Rogan. I've heard all the stuff. I've heard Dave Smith debate Coleman Hughes. I've heard, lots of people weigh in, and I'm not a sensationalist at all. I'm probably the opposite. But and actually, I'm almost done with another interview with some Asian guy who I've never seen before that was on Tucker today or yesterday or whatever.
Oh yeah, that was really good. Yeah, I really like that. Yeah,
I
don't agree with thing he said, but he not like that matters because he's probably way smarter than I am, but
right.
I don't feel like either way, I don't know, like some of the stuff he said, I'm like, I don't think that's accurate, but okay. But
yeah, he was and Tucker obviously doesn't support this at all and is extremely negative and has a negative catastrophic perspective on this, but that Asian guy was about as pessimistic as anybody I've heard. I'm like, man, I don't know if all that's going to happen, but kind of like you. I'm like, well, you probably know more than I do. But I guess my general thoughts is I'm completely against it. It feels very catastrophic. It feels the closest thing that you can get to some form of a world war that we've seen in 80 years. So I'm 100% against it. I don't see, unless, and even I'm not even sure how this would even I guess if Trump said we've made our point, we're out of this thing, we're moving on, I'd be real curious to see what the fallout or the result of that would be. But it's having worldwide economic impact in more like the domino effect. And this isn't arguable, this isn't debatable, just the facts. The domino effect of the economic impacts around the world, literally every part of the world, every continent.
Yep.
Like he even asked his guest, what do you think about Africa? And he's like, well, that's going to create famine for XYZ reasons. I was like, well, so it's even affecting Africa, who are completely unrelated bystanders.
Yeah.
It's affecting the Pacific Southwest. It's certainly affecting the Middle East and Europe, and it's going to impact, what's going on in Ukraine. It's going to impact, obviously the United States. I could tell you personally, I've taken a massive, massive financial hit because of this, right? Because the markets have absolutely taken a nosedive. Like I've experienced, and not just me, but just people in general, the biggest losses I've had, I don't know, in months or years, right? So it's like gas prices are going up, which obviously anytime gas prices and oil prices go up, that affects literally every consumer good that we consume. So the domino effect of this decision to go get involved in a war that very clearly seems like we got into because of Israel, one way or the other, because Rubio said it and then he tried to walk it back, but it's so disingenuous that you said it, man. Like you said it. You can't spin that just to make it sound like you said something else. Like you said it, and the reason you said it, and he's a very calculated person. Like Marco Rubio is a very smart, very informed, very thoughtful person in what he says. And
I don't know.
I'm just saying he's smart.
Fair
he
enough.
is smart. I'll change the way I said it. First of all, I do think he's smart and informed, and he is very capable. And what I'm saying is he chooses his word carefully. I don't think like Trump just says shit, right?
Yeah.
I think Marco Rubio is a little more thoughtful about the words he chooses and what he says and the way he comments on things. I just think he's more thoughtful certainly than Trump, because everyone's more thoughtful than he is about what he says. I just think he said that on purpose. Like maybe he just said the truth on accident.
Yeah, I don't know.
Whatever. The point is he's the Secretary of State. He's completely dialed in on this, and he said it. Like he said what he said, right? And so he basically said that we did it one way or the other. We did it because of Israel. Okay.
But like he wasn't the only one. Like, you know what I mean? Like he wasn't the only one that said that. Like there was multiple people that said that. They all tried to walk it back.
Yes, that's right. The attempts. So first of all, it was whatever it was. It was we're doing this because and the whole claim of Israel, Iran can't have a nuke, and they're weeks away from having a nuke or whatever. Like the claim that they're getting closer and closer to having a nuke or whatever. Like, and then of course everyone's probably seen the montage with Benjamin Netanyahu where he's literally been saying that for 40 years, like we're weeks away. Like that's such a disingenuous pretext for causing shit in the Middle East. It's like no one
but then Midnight Hammer, they also destroyed their nuclear program.
Obliterated it. Yeah, they used the words obliterated.
I apologize. Yes, you're right. Obliterate. So they obliterated the program. They obliterated the program, but now 6 months later, 5 months later,
right,
they're 1 week away.
Which, by the way, the word obliterated by any measure means you've completely destroyed something.
It's done. Yeah, you cannot get it back. You cannot get it back.
Obliterated it. It's you basically, another word you could use is we've completely eliminated whatever the thing is that was obliterated. Completely eliminated.
Okay, hold on. I'm gonna look up synonyms for obliterated. Here we go. Hold on. I just want to do. We have to do this here. Hold on.
Yeah, go for it because my impression is my guess is what you're going to discover is that it basically means completely destroyed, eliminated, completely destroyed, right?
Synonym.
regardless of what the definition of obliterated means, you can't have that thing back within a matter of weeks or months, right? Like it should take years and years to
Okay,
recover something. If you even can, you shouldn't be able to have something back that was recently obliterated.
yes. Agreed. According to Merriam-Webster, I don't know if you've heard of them. They do dictionaries and thesauruses. They've been around a while.
Right. Decent history.
Decent history. Obliterated, as in destroyed, disintegrated, extirpated. I don't even know what that. Extirpated. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Mutilated, damaged, eradicated. Ooh, that's a good one.
Eradicated.
Wiped out, exterminated, ruined.
Those are okay. So we were right. Those are all words that mean basically complete destruction or eliminated. Right?
Yes.
You've eliminated that thing.
And there's about 20 more that I could go into.
Right. And correct me. This is just my ignorance because I'm just not. I just might have messed it. Did they ever say we're doing this for regime change? Did the administration ever officially say that?
Yes, they did. They did say at some point that like, oh no, the regime's got to go. And then that's the problem with this whole thing, right? Like they haven't targeted one thing that they need to do, right? Like they haven't set goals, they haven't set accomplishments where they like, okay, if this happens, we're good to go here, blah blah blah. They were like, right. Oh, this is regime change. Oh no, this isn't regime change. This is because of their nuclear weapon. Oh no, this is because they're just their nuclear program. Oh no, this is because they're ballistic missiles. So like this went from A to B to C to D to E. Like they haven't been able to really, because they can't actually say what it is for, right? Like we all know what it's for. We all know that this is a war because Israel wanted it. So they can't say that. So they have to come up with some stupid excuse. And so, it went from, oh, well, they're trying to get a nuclear weapon, which in the State of the Union, Donald Trump was like, they haven't said those words. We're not going to have a nuclear weapon. And then 5 minutes.
Actually, they did.
Of course they did. They said it several times. They said it several times in the past year and a half. They were like, no,
what's the word they use? It's a religious declaration. It's basically
a fatwa.
Yeah, there is actually a fatwa that there's been in place since 2004 that they said we're not going to have a nuclear weapon.
Yes, the guy that they murdered had put out a fatwa that said, no, we're not going to go after a nuclear weapon.
But not even recently, 2004.
Yes.
2004.
Yeah.
Hey! There he is.
Yeah, did at least Nebraska win, you fucking dumb shit?
Woo! Ah! Yes, they did.
Okay, good.
Oh my god!
If you guys don't mind, can I be the one to pause the show and just briefly turn attention to Tony? I know, Tony, we're an hour in, but will you please just go ahead and do your intro?
It is I, the 17-time Revolutionary Wrestling Podcast Champion, non-chill filtered, quadruple distilled blend master, ceremonies himself, and an international sex kitten, and a representative of now the two-time NCAA March Madness game winners, Nebraska Cornhuskers, Tony Puckett. Yeah! Oh my god, this is the most stressful thing I've ever watched in my life. I know you guys are talking geopolitics, so I'll be brief. But like I thought this thing started at 6:45 my time. It was 7:45 my time.
Yeah.
So yeah, we really got dicked on this late game, and we had to play Vanderbilt, who's pretty damn good. Nobody expected Nebraska to be in the. We are 0-7 in March Madness tournament games. So we've made the tournament 7 times, have never won a game.
Wow.
We just beat Troy on Thursday. So we got our first one, and nobody had us picked to beat Vanderbilt in the second round. And the ref, this was some of the worst officiating. They could throw elbows and shit. We couldn't lay a finger on it. It was horrible. Fucking 70-70. We get a rebound or a steal. I don't remember now. And we drive down, put it up, sink it. 2.2 left. They take a timeout. They throw it in. They pass it. The guy takes like a 3/4 court shot. It fucking hits the rim, swivels around in it, and flies back out.
Oh.
It was insane. I've never seen like this. It should have been in. There's no reason it should have been. It was amazing. Yeah, this is the most basketball I've ever watched in my life. So yeah, holy shit.
No, that's great. I'm glad.
At least it was a good game. I mean, like I hate basketball, but like at least
I'm not either.
Watch. Yeah.
I don't. The most basketball I've watched is my kid play basketball.
Yeah,
that's my level of interest. So this is different for me. But this is I feel like I've learned. We've all grown.
I've learned.
Well, congratulations and welcome to the show.
Yeah. Now our reward is going to be getting trounced by Florida in the next round, but that's okay. That's okay.
All right. Well, Brendan was nice enough to let me share my thoughts on the Iranian war, so that's what I was doing. But so I'll pick it up here. Basically, what I was getting at, and I'm sure you guys would agree, the message out of the administration for the explanation of why we're doing this was completely incoherent, and whatever, if you want to spin the wheel of possible explanations for it, there's not an option on the wheel that the average American can support or wants to support. No, there might be some people on the fringe. No, none of the voting public, particularly the people that voted for and supported Trump, wants this war at all for any reason. The one message that seems to be at least coordinated out of the administration that everyone seems to be saying is that America was under imminent threat, which of course is complete BS. We're under no imminent threat of any kind in any form or fashion from Iran at all. So there's no plausible or justifiable explanation for us doing this at all. Now, my big question is, and I would love for you guys to give me your opinion, which of course I asked Phil for, and that turned into a whole thing on the thread, which drove me insane because I literally just wanted his opinion. And you guys know Phil better than I do, but I know him now well enough to like, well, he's not capable of that. He wants to argue about everything. I didn't want to argue. I literally just wanted his opinion. So anyways, so Brendan, you and I were just about to start talking about it. So we know what they said the reason is, but is the, and this is a term that you've probably heard a long time ago. I've heard for the first time. Is the real reason? So we're in agreement that we're doing this because Israel wanted to do it, right? Otherwise, we're not doing it, right? Yeah. So, but the question is then, why did Israel want it? Does Israel want it because of what's their big initiative that I heard for the first time where they want all of the land that was
the Greater Israel Project.
Yeah, the Greater Israel Project. I've never heard of that. Never heard.
Really? Oh no, I said this during the whole Gaza thing. Like, they've been pushing that shit for a while.
Okay, well, can I?
It's entitlement.
Oh well, yeah, for sure.
So is that? So I'll get to that in a minute, actually. So one second. So let me just ask this question: is it your belief that that's really what Israel's trying to do?
Well, I mean, I don't know if it's. I mean, like, is. Okay, I think it's.
I'll answer yes.
It's the Likud party. I'm not saying Israel as a whole, right? Like, because like you can't say like the United States is doing something, right? Like
I'm not saying the average Israeli. Let's just
that's what I'm getting at, right? Like you can't say the United States is doing something because there's 50 states, there's right, of course. So
when I say something like that, let's just assume that what I mean is
we're talking about the government or the people that are in control at the time. Yeah. Correct. So Netanyahu, I don't think is really hidden his motivations. I really don't think he has. Like he is just flat out just thrown it out there. The Likud party, which he is a part of, has just basically said, in fact, after Iran, just shortly after they started attacking Iran, they basically said they're going to go after Turkey. They said that even though Turkey has been an ally of Israel
Right.
with the whole Syria thing. They basically said, hey, Turkey's really starting to act up here, like,
Right.
so they're
Right.
already like seeding that
That's right.
that whole thing. So I think it's not I don't think it's a secret at all. This is what they're trying to do. They're trying to expand to Israel. This is the whole thing with Gaza. It wasn't just October 7th. I think October 7th is completely okay. Listen, bad things happen October 7th. But but the way they went about the whole war with Gaza, it just they want to take that whole their ultimate goal with that after October 7th wasn't just justice, it was to take over the whole thing, the Gaza Strip, everything. That was it. And I think that's part of it. That's absolutely part of it. But so Iran's part of it, but I mean, you just look back 40 years, like, and then the memo that Dave Smith always talks about. What are you talking about? The 7 countries,
Right.
That memo, which I can't, for some reason, my brain is not. But yeah. So like, yeah, in the U.S. has helped them do every single one of these countries. So I don't think this is anything new. This is the way it goes with Israel.
So a couple other things. Okay, so let me comment on that first. So first of all, I for anybody that so in terms of the entitlement conversation, about are they entitled to that land and the religious
They
argument
think they are.
I know they do. I'm not nearly as informed as many other people, probably including Phil. My personal opinion is that's complete nonsense from a religious perspective. Now that's the distinction between now. Apparently, there's this phrase in this category of people, Christian Zionists, whatever. I don't know anything about that. I am a Christian. I've been a Christian since I was in high school. I don't think I would consider myself a Christian Zionist. I'm not even prepared to even think about that. But
Phil sure argued with you like you are.
Right. So maybe I am, because I don't really want to argue with them about anything.
Well,
but
I mean,
there you go.
If you're a Zionist or not, you believe that Israel deserves that land, and then
that's actually where that whole conversation in the thread came to a head. I'm like, listen, I think what I realized here is that I don't really want to debate because I'm not really that informed. I'm a curious person, so I like asking questions of everybody around me. I don't assume that everyone around me either knows more or less than me. Maybe they do, maybe they don't. I don't really care.
I can add some context here to what you're saying. Yeah, you're looking for some information, but the way you were phrasing it, Phil's automatic response is to be very black and white, very this is how it is, and this is how it has to be because this is what I believe. And if you go, well, but is it like that? And if you just like ask the question or try to counter it, not as a debate tactic, but but what about this? His defense system goes up, the blast shields go down, and it's just now we've got to argue about that. That's just how his mind works.
Totally fair, and that's good insight. To be fair to Phil, the way I first entered that interaction, I definitely entered it in a debating kind of way. But then I quickly realized I don't really want to debate. Really, what I am is curious. I'm curious. I don't really know what the hell I'm talking about. I'm information seeking. I'm looking for information so I can decide. And that's honestly how I enter almost every conversation. But I also realized, and I was really grateful for that interaction, because I did realize, that's true. That's honest. But then why are you arguing? Like, I find myself arguing even when I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. That's a stupid thing to do. that's a
It
dumb thing to
happens.
do. So that was really
We're all
enlightening
guilty
about
of it.
myself, because now I'm going to try not to do that, because I don't really know what I'm talking about, and I just need to enter it just as an innocently curious person, just acknowledging I want to know whatever everyone around me knows, because then I'll
Right.
know more, because I don't know anything. So it took me that whole back and forth with Phil, and even after I made that acknowledgement, he still wanted to fight with me, which made me crazy.
Well, to be fair, most of the biggest fights that Phil and I have had is just because I don't like the way he worded something, and I'm like, you're kind of an asshole, or you're just kind of wrong, or you're just kind of intentionally blind for wording it that way. And I don't know if you've noticed, but that's when you get the snarkiest and the most straw man, or the most moving the goalpost arguments from Phil. Is when
Well,
I'm
and
like,
he
"Hey,
gets
maybe you shouldn't have said that way."
well, and he gets real condescending, where he'll say things like, "I want you to explain to me my position,
Yeah.
so that I know that you understand what I'm saying
Yes.
before we can go any further." And I'm
Yeah,
like, no,
I
no,
love
I'm
that one.
acknowledging I don't know. I have no idea. I just want to know your opinion. Like, I can't explain your
No,
position.
at that point, it's too late, and it's, well, if you don't understand what I'm saying, I
Right.
can't explain it to you. So
What
we're done
we
here.
can't,
Ah,
we must stop talking, because
Wait,
you're not gonna get it
you can't
anyway.
explain your own opinion? Wait, what?
Yeah, like he
I
kept insisting
know.
that I should explain his opinion to him
I
before we could go
know.
any further. I'm like,
Oh wait,
I don't know.
was this one of the many chats that I completely
Yes.
discarded?
Yes.
Yeah, and
Yes.
you were right for doing so.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
this is how he's had to handle a lot of Twitch debates. So like, it's just kind of a part of his
This is
strategy now.
like when he blames libertarians for the economics.
Right.
Yeah.
It's
All right,
their
so-
fault.
Like
Even
what?
though he
What?
loves to point how they have no power and can't have power.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
it's
yeah.
their fault.
But it's their fault that we're in the position we're in. Yeah.
Absolutely.
So I didn't mean to take a detour where I
Yeah,
jumped on Phil. That wasn't the point. But what I was getting at, and I acknowledge up
did.
front,
Yeah.
I'm totally ignorant. This is just like the little bit that I think I understand, is that position of saying, because of from a religious perspective, we feel like we have a right to all of this land, because that's the land that's literally the promised land that's referenced in the Bible. Like, that is a biblical reference to Abraham, or to Moses, who actually Moses didn't get to go into the promised land because he was disobedient. So Joshua got to lead the Israelites and God's people into the promised land. That whole story. So basically the distinction is that the story stops at some point for if you're Jewish, and it continues if you're a Christian, but the
Mhm.
continuation is really important, and so, like, it's really important, it's critical, it's absolutely critical, it's pivotal, it's foundational. And as a Christian, and again, out of ignorance, so I'm happy to have someone come along and correct me or fill in the details. So like for example, regarding the temple, Jesus calls himself the temple. So whether there's a mosque there, or they tear it down and build another temple, the third temple, or what, it doesn't matter. Jesus literally called himself the temple. In other words, saying, I'm the fulfillment of all the scriptures, all the Old Testament scriptures and the promises made to God's people, and I'm the temple. So you can leave the mosque there, not leave the mosque there, doesn't matter, because that's already been fulfilled, and Jesus now replaces a physical building temple. But that's the point where the Jews say, no, I don't agree with that, because I'm Jewish. I'm not a Christian. I don't believe that Jesus is the Messiah or the temple or any of that. They don't believe that Jesus is who he said he was. They just acknowledge him as a good guy, had some good ideas. He was a prophet. He's a teacher. But honestly, and I'm assuming Phil would agree with this, if you call Jesus just a good guy with some good ideas and a teacher and a prophet, that is a huge insult, because what he claimed to be was God himself. So if a person comes along and says, no, I am God in the flesh, and you say, no, you're just a really good teacher, you're like amongst the teachers and the prophets, like, that's a huge insult. And so if you're a Christian, you believe that God is that Jesus is the fulfillment of the scriptures, and he is literally the physical embodiment of the temple. Therefore, and this is the part where I could totally be wrong, the land and who belongs to the land and the temple and where if the temple exists or where it exists at all is totally irrelevant. It's not relevant anymore because Jesus embodied and replaced all of that.
Yep.
So who occupies the land, who owns the land, who has a right to the land is from the point that Jesus died and was resurrected and filled that role, all of that was void. He replaced all of that. That's the distinction between a Jewish belief and a Christian belief on that topic. Now, where again, basic understanding may be wrong. So you can't be so a Christian Zionist is an oxymoron. Like you can't. That's an oxymoronic thing. You can't have that position. You understand why that's true? Like you can't be a Christian and believe in Jesus as a fulfillment of the scriptures, and then be the embodiment of the temple, and believe that the Israelites or Israel or anybody has a religious right to that land. You can't be a Christian Zionist. You can't be. Those things don't go together.
Well, no, you can't be a Christian Zionist if you're a Christian, but if
You should tell those people because
that's what I'm saying, Tony, is that you could be a Christian or you could be a Zionist. There's no such thing as a Christian Zionist.
Unless you're a Christian Zionist.
Well, you should Fox News.
But what I'm saying is that's an incoherent position because those things
No,
you can't.
I get
right?
I get why you're saying that they can't exist simultaneously.
They can't exist. Those are two.
However,
those are diametrically opposed words. You can't combine them.
But only if you are basing this solely off of the preferential interpretation of the book that you believe in. If you can bend those rules and your ism is slightly different in one way versus this way, yes, you absolutely can. And that's why I've always found it so infuriating, like when Phil will reference somebody who he agrees with completely politically and has all the same views on government and this and belief, but their ism is slightly different. And you know what was it?
Yeah. Which Bible are you talking about?
Exactly.
Which Bible?
One of the perfect examples is a guy named Nate who's in Nebraska, works at one of the radio AM stations here, and they agree on a bunch of stuff. And but he's like kind of Mormonish, one of those isms. So it's like, well, Phil, we believe in the same God, and Phil's like, well, not really. No, we don't.
And I mean, he said that to him.
I don't know. That's why when you handcuff it, that's where somebody's like, "Well, this can't be a thing." Well, it can be if you don't believe in the other thing.
I would say that Chris, you know the Bible way better than I do.
Oh yeah, hands down for sure.
Yeah, and as much as I call myself a Christian and that type of thing, I'm not like practicing. Like I don't go to church every Sunday, that type of thing.
Right.
But I just like I would really be hesitant to say like we should follow a book from 2,000 years ago that was written by people. It not exactly a game of telephone, but pretty much almost there. So maybe we don't say that this land right here belongs to these exact people, that we can't prove that it is exactly them, but you know what I mean? Like I don't understand that doesn't follow for me. The modern day country of Israel was born 80 years ago?
That's right. 78 years ago. That's right.
Yeah. So I mean, why is this something that we're quoting the Bible, that this is the country of Israel, but that's the country in the Bible? Like that to me doesn't make sense. Like I don't get that. Like so for me, for someone who is a complete layman when it comes to, even though quote unquote I taught Sunday school when I was in junior high, I like actually taught it, but I don't get this. This doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah.
About the land mass, not the country represented.
Well,
but I mean, like, even like, okay, like, even me, a layman, says, like, wait a second, this doesn't make sense. Like,
right.
the Bible talks about Israel, but it's not talking about that country that was just like formed
correct.
80
I
years ago. That's
I
not
don't think
the
so
thing.
either.
That's
I
not
don't
the
think so either,
thing.
Brendan.
Yeah.
Israel, the country today, is like a tribute act. You know?
Well, it was
like-
a
That's
it
a funny
was
way to say it.
it was
like
for-
Lincoln Park without Chester Bennington.
That's funny.
Enough said. You don't have to
Yeah.
say anything else about it.
I mean, I know I'm very hyperbolic, so.
But
Mhm.
I mean, it was forced. That was a forced thing, like, right? Like, they displaced people that lived there to take that. They took that land to make Israel. Like, do you think Jesus would approve of that? I don't think so. Biblically, I don't think that would be approved. Like,
Oh yeah, he's a
they
gerrymandering tyrant.
They killed people. They made terrorist acts to make the current country of Israel. I don't think Jesus would approve of that type stuff. So, like, to me, the people that are the quote unquote Christian Zionists, they're like, how do you look at the current formation of Israel and be like, yeah, this is what's supposed to happen? I don't get that. Like, I don't get that at all.
Yeah, I'm almost completely ignorant of that whole conversation, but I don't really see a connection between the secular state of Israel that was formed in 1948 and anything from
The Bible.
Forget about even the Bible, because the Bible is a Christian book. Just take the Torah, which is the first 5 books of the Bible, which is obviously that's a Jewish book. I don't. That's really what it's referencing, right? It's really the Bible has a New Testament and Old Testament, and the New Testament has nothing to do with any of this part of the conversation. So let's just limit ourselves to the Old Testament, which effectively is the Torah, which is the first 5 books. That's what it's referencing, and it's literally referencing the Promised Land, which is from Exodus. It's like the 3rd book of the Bible. So I don't see any connection to a secular state that was formed in 1948 in the Promised Land. I just don't. But also, all of these conversations, any conversation you have that's even tangentially religious, really should start and end with what is my opinion about the claims of Jesus Christ? That's pretty much it. Now, I'm not asking for us to go down that road, so we can end that part of the conversation there. But I'm just saying, Jesus was an actual person that walked Earth. Okay, so let's just that's historically confirmed. That's true, but that's not that important. What's important is the claim that he made. He claimed to be God. Okay, that's a really significant claim for any person to make. Okay, so he either was or he wasn't. Like that's really where every conversation is to start. I'm not asking us to have that conversation. I'm just telling you that's the starting point of any and all of those conversations. Period. Right. That's it. Because that's a human being that walked the earth that claimed he was God. He either was or he wasn't. And then did he raise from the dead? That's a pretty important thing to either right. determine. Right? Did the man die? Was he crucified on a cross and rise from the dead?
Well, yeah.
Did he or didn't he? Because I'll tell you this right now, that's equally or not more important than his claim that he was God. Because if he didn't actually raise from the dead, everything else that he said or did doesn't mean anything. It means nothing. Okay? If he did not raise from the dead, like it says, everything, the entire Christian religion collapses completely. All of it hinges on that one thing. It either happened or it didn't. Now, obviously, I'm a Christian, so I believe that it did. But I'm just saying, any and all religious conversations have to start there, because it doesn't just affect Christianity.
It's a baseless claim without the resurrection.
Yes, that's exactly right. And by the way, gentlemen, the Bible says that. It literally says, if he didn't raise from the dead, then all of this is nonsense. It says that. That's in the Bible. So it's the most central, most pivotal part. But what I'm telling you is, and we can end it here, what I'm saying is it's not just Christianity. Christianity, Judaism, Islam, all of the world religions pivot around that fact of whether or not it's true or not. It just does. That's a much bigger conversation. We could leave it there, but I'm just telling you that's where it's at. That's where it all hinges. Okay. It's the most important, significant claim that's ever been made. So it either happened or it didn't. Okay. But real quickly, so I just want to finish my thoughts on Iran.
Okay.
Because I want to comment on Trump, because this is important. Because all of us here have been frustrated that he claimed to be, he ran on very clearly no new wars. He's called himself what does he call himself? The
peaceful president,
the president of peace, or whatever. I mean, that's a huge part of what he ran on and what he promised and what we voted for and all of these things. Yep. And so I've heard all of these people and all these conversations and interviews and debates, and I've just been stuck on that. And I'm like, how do I reconcile that? Like, what happened? And I thought it was really interesting in that Tucker interview today. Tucker asked him, what are the four? He asked him about Trump, and he outlined 4 possibilities, and I don't remember what they were. He's either captured, or he's this, or he's that, or whatever. They were really interesting, and he wouldn't speculate on which one he thought, and I don't either. But my own thought about Trump, because I think this in life in general, the simplest explanation for something oftentimes is the correct explanation. And if I think about Donald Trump, one, I don't think the average person really knows Donald Trump. I think we ascribe a lot of things to him. But if you take his own words, I think what seems to be very important to him is to, and this is an irony. What I'm outlining here is an irony. What seems to be true is that he wants to be known as the peace president. Like, he hasn't given up on that. He's doing this backbend, and he's claimed that he's been involved in ending 7 or 8 different conflicts around the world in the first year of his presidency and all this other stuff. Whatever. I'm not here to debate that. The point that I'm making is that I think there's a weird irony here. And the irony is, especially on the back of Venezuela, where he thinks that was a huge success, where he got in and out and accomplished what he wanted to. And he's thinking, well, that was a good trick, and that was really impressive, and I got a lot of credit for that. But a much better trick is to be the first president in the history of mankind to actually establish peace in the Middle East. And he gets credit for the Abraham Accords, and I don't know that much about the Abraham Accords, but it sounds like that was a good accomplishment, whatever. I'm not minimizing that. That sounded great. But he's like, hey, man, I did the Venezuela thing. I'm responsible for the Abraham Accords. I think he was, and it's so weird, too, because he made these bold claims about how quick he was going to end the Israeli-Gaza conflict and the Ukraine war. He said he's going to do that in 24 hours or whatever.
Yep.
I think just out of pure I'm not even going to say arrogance or even ego. I'm just going to say self-confidence. I think he's so self-confident that when Netanyahu and talked him into doing this, and also remember, he did the 12-day war where he went into the Israel strikes. He's like, yeah, see what we did? We got in there, we got out, blah, 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 blah. No casualties, no boots on the ground. So he doesn't even count that as actual war or actual conflict. Like, he doesn't count that as a mark against his claim to be the peaceful president. He doesn't, even though he should. Because you're bombing stuff. Yeah. Those are military engagements. That still counts. It's kind of like if you claim you're sober and you go smoke a joint, you're like, yeah, it's just one joint, so I'm not going to start the clock over. You're like, no, man, like, you had a beer, like, you had a joint, like, that counts.
It was just one beer, dude. It was just one beer.
Right. Like, you don't get your 3-year pin or whatever. Like, you have to start over. I don't think he counts those things against his record. But so I think out of his own self-confidence, which sometimes is a huge asset to him, but in this case is a liability, I think he really thought that in a very limited engagement over just a couple of weeks, that he could go in and topple the Iranian regime and be responsible for doing that and establishing peace in the Middle East and get in and out in a couple of weeks. And I think people use that to talk him into it when they knew all along that was impossible. It was never possible. Never possible. You can't do it. Can't be done. And I think that's because, remember, he struck the Ayatollah, he murdered the Ayatollah, and then had that that speech where he appealed to the Iranian people and said, "Hey, I've created this unique opportunity for you. Here's your chance. Rise up and take over the government. It's a chance of a lifetime." And then here we are in what's probably going to become a protracted war that's going to have worldwide negative effects for months, if not years or decades. So, but my theory of the case is that I don't know what Israel's up to. They may be up to what we already discussed, but I think Trump, out of his pure self-confidence, thought that he could pull a Venezuela in Iran, which is
that's not a bad way to look at it. I don't disagree with that.
That's my theory.
That's not bad. I actually I think I might almost agree with that 100%, because at one point, I argued, Brendan, we talked about this. You said, "Oh, this is really bad. There's no exit." I'm like, I agree with that, but I don't think we're desperate yet. And I think you were a little more towards, "Hey, we're going to get desperate quick." And I'm like, I think we're a ways off from getting desperate. But to Chris's point, like, a lot of these military operations have been very quick and executed pretty well. But to your point, Brendan, this one, yeah, he probably got in over his head a little bit, but that's because he thought he had an ally in this one with Israel. But here's the problem. This is what really just makes it feel the most yucky to me. And this is going to sound ridiculous, but the reason this sounds and feels, and just everything on the surface and beneath feels so yucky about this, is the transparency. And I'm always so adamant about, we need more transparency when it comes to government. This felt yucky from the get-go when it said the U.S. and Israel attack Iran. When you saw that on the screen, when you saw that on the news, on the headlines, and went, man, that's fucking gross. Would it not have felt just a smidge less gross if it just says U.S. attacks Iran? Had they just gone ahead and done it without telling us, yeah, no, we're buddying up tag team partner style with Iran or Israel here to fuck around Iran, I almost wish I didn't know that part at this point. I'm like, man, all that transparency I wanted, I don't think I want it now, because this feels extra fucking gross, because Israel's getting what they want, which is to basically get the bully that backs their shit up to do just that. And the bully gets to flex some more muscle, and he's been pretty efficient at it for the last year. Well, maybe bit off a little more than he could chew, and this one's a scrapper. So it just, it feels fucking gross.
I don't think it's any better, because like
no, it's not better.
I'm just saying, like the United States just doing it without Israel is just like, it's still wrong.
Oh, of course it is. Of course,
because Iran didn't do anything to deserve to get attacked. What I mean? Like, absolutely. So either way, like, I don't know. Like, I don't think there's any wrong.
But the point I'm making is this feels like you said, like we wouldn't be doing this without Israel.
Either way, it's bad.
Yeah, absolutely, it's still bad. But the fact that it says the U.S. and Israel attack Iran, the reason I'm saying it makes it worse is because this isn't something we would have done without the influence of Israel. And now we know through that act of transparency that we're bending the knee to Israel. And we knew that already.
Yeah.
Given the Palestine conflict. But now, without that even being resolved, we're like, oh, well, yeah, we'll just partner up with you full force and attack another country. That is such a bad look.
Did you guys hear the Joe Kent interview?
No.
Did you hear it, Brendan?
Yeah. Yes, I heard it.
I thought it was a very interesting interview. I like that. I like that guy. But what I found most interesting was how Trump was, his explanation of how Trump was talked into it. Do you remember that part?
Yep.
Basically the pro-Israel contingency that wanted this war basically isolated Trump and prevented the opposition from having any conversation with him. So that basically put him in this echo chamber where he was isolated from, because to Trump's credit, what I've heard consistently about him is one thing that he likes is to get people into a room and have an open discussion and call it a debate of opposing sides so he can hear everyone out and then he makes a decision. I've heard a number of times that that's how he goes about things.
I don't hate that.
No, I think it's kind of cool, right? Because
Yeah.
you get to hear both sides, you get to hear everyone out. So if that's what really happens, I kind of like that.
I do too.
What I heard, according to Joe Kent, was that didn't happen in this case. Is that he became not by Trump's choice necessarily. He didn't consciously do this, but he basically got isolated by just the one side. And so all he was hearing was is why he should do it versus, and he wasn't. But also right before he did this, you know, Tucker went to the White House. Joe Kent had his ear right before he resigned. But then gradually, as they got closer and closer to actually taking action, he was isolated from that. So he didn't do that traditional open conversation. And that was Joe Kent's explanation as to why, unless I'm getting it wrong, that was his explanation as to kind of how Trump arrived at this decision.
It's a pretty major fucking decision.
Yeah.
Huge.
And if that's standard protocol, you would think like a guy like Trump would not be so knee jerk to do that. I don't know. It doesn't.
I agree, Tony, but that's where I go back to the explanation that I gave you. I think they appealed to he wants to be the savior of the Middle East. He wants the Nobel Peace Prize. He wants to be the peace president. And ironically, in his attempt to do that, he's caused one of the biggest, most catastrophic domino effect conflicts in the last.
Well, and that's the thing.
100 years.
If you exclude Israel, Palestine, and he actually ended Ukraine, Russia on day one, yeah, you would be talking about that. But no, like you said, he thought that this would be another feather in the hat.
That's
if we're really calling him that, and it's not that, and it's not going to be that.
He's trying to build his resume for being the peace president when he's doing.
I don't. Well, he fucked that up. Like he majorly fucked that up.
But here's the thing about that is I don't think that that's like in his mind. I don't think that that's him directly and intentionally going against that promise. I think the irony is that in the attempt to try to fulfill that promise, where he thought he could get in and out and do this really quickly and painlessly, he's caused a giant conflict and started a huge war. That's my theory.
I don't think he's knee-jerk reactive though to really anything. Like if he does something and it fails, he doesn't go, oh shit, we got to double down. And no, he's like, well, win some, you lose them, on to the next. And that's how he's kind of been with all of his business endeavors too. Like, oh, well, went bankrupt there. Oh, that fucking failed miserably. I'll just do something else now. But that's not how he's been with the war stuff here in his second term.
Yeah, I think it's all just an unfortunate irony, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I think he thought he could get in and out and create world peace in the Middle East and get a big pat on the back, and he's like, oh shit.
All of the U.S.'s military operations before the teaming with Israel, like again, to Phil's credit, they have been efficient. You can argue all you want about it being unnecessary. That's not the point. It's still been pretty efficient and pretty quick and pretty swift.
Well,
until we hit Iran, and this is not one of those things where you're going to be able to go in and get out and everybody will move on quickly because they're ready for a dogfight, and that's been proven already weeks ago. So,
well, I heard
not
someone
good look.
I heard someone say that the bar for Iran in terms of declaring victory is very, very low because their bar is just to survive.
Yeah,
because
absolutely.
If they survive and any version of the current regime is still present, they win.
Right. And to Brendan's point from last week, you said this could be like a Vietnam for Trump, and that would be
it definitely could be. Well, the funny thing is that, and I heard somebody, I didn't really fully understand this until I heard someone speak to it, but they said that, so I don't even know what the number is. What have they killed, like 40 or 50 people in the regime at this point? Like you could kill 100, but the leadership in Iran is the community of clerics, which numbers in the tens of thousands.
Right.
The estimate is 50,000. So you can kill 100, you can kill 200, you can kill 1,000. There's still tens of thousands left that represent the leadership of this regime.
Yeah, they're
Right.
just sitting there going, send in the lefty.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly.
They're
That's right.
just like throw him
So
in.
that's what I'm.
Ah,
That's what
shit,
I'm,
right? He's cramping up. Better use
Oh,
my
okay,
left.
okay, throw in the righty. Yeah, like they don't
that's
give
the
a
point
fuck.
that I'm making, guys. Is
give a
that
fuck.
is that the bar is down here. All they have to do is survive, and
Yeah.
and it's a game
They're
of
gonna win.
attrition. And
They're
and
gonna
and
win.
you know what? In a game of attrition, the U.S. will lose. They
Of
will
course.
lose.
Yes.
Now, so before we run out of time, I have two more things. One is the
Hey, we
Tucker
have
Carlson-
we have 8 voicemails to get to.
Oh,
shit.
shoot. Okay, so
Wow.
I'll be quick with
8?
this.
8.
What the
We have-
fuck?
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay.
All right, so I'm glad we waited for Tony on that because I want Tony to be able to
Okay.
respond.
Yes,
I
I know.
figured
That's
you guys
why
already
I
worked
did
through it.
not want to
Sorry.
do it without Tony. So here we
My
go.
bad.
Okay,
Okay,
so let's
Hurry,
these,
hurry,
these are
hurry.
these are big topics, but we'll hit these quickly.
I'll
One-
just shut up.
One, Tony's guest said that one, and he's not the only one. That I've heard 2 or 3 other people say this. That one of the objections in this entire thing is Israel's objection or objection, not objection.
Yes.
One of their goals is to get the United States out of the Middle East. Do you agree with that?
Iran, you meant, not Israel.
No, Israel's goal is to get the United States out of the Middle East. Have you heard that?
I have heard that.
It
Well,
doesn't
the-
make sense to me.
The professor said that.
Yes. Okay. So anyway, I'll leave that there. We can talk about that another time.
Yeah, he
And-
said that because without the US there, then they can just expand.
Right.
Yeah, but I don't
Yes.
agree with that. I don't
I don't
agree
either. I don't
because
either.
Yeah.
without the US, they can expand.
Correct. That's what I said. Like without us supporting them in every way possible, they can't do
Exactly.
anything they're doing. So
Exactly.
that didn't make,
I don't
he's
without
the second or
providing
third
them,
person that said that.
yeah, without providing them money and bombs and
Right.
military support, there's no way they can expand.
That's right. Okay, so we can talk about that more later. The other one was, and so let me just introduce this topic, and we'll keep it for our next time. I put in our thread that I think that this thing is, and Chicken didn't disagree, but he wasn't ready to agree with me, and I think Phil might have totally disagreed.
Standard.
I think that this is going to take a long time. It's going to go way past the midterms, and Trump and the
Oh, yeah.
Republicans are going to get destroyed. I said this a couple weeks ago in the thread. It's going to get destroyed in the midterms, and I also think it could cause them to lose 2028. I still think that. I don't think this war could be over even as we approach campaign season for 2028. That's entirely possible, and it could go past that, and that's going to be an absolute disaster politically for the Republicans. I don't
Well,
see an
yeah.
off ramp. I don't
No
see an off
disag-
ramp here. There's
No
no, off ramp.
disagreements here. I said that in the last episode with Tony. I don't see an off ramp.
Right.
Where's the off ramp? There's no off ramp.
Right.
This isn't going to be over in a week or two. This is going to go for
Yeah.
months, if not years.
I'm not ready to.
Even if Trump says, "Oh, we're done. We've done a good job," like
Mission accomplished. Hang the
Iran
banner.
could say, "Okay, cool. I'm still gonna fuck you up." Like,
Yeah.
you know what I
Well,
mean?
but
Like-
it's
Right.
still gonna devastate the Gulf states, which is going to devastate the energy sector, which
Well,
is going to impact the
But
entire
I'm
world
just saying.
economy
I'm
of
just
the
saying.
United States.
Even if the United States says, "No, we're done," like we accomplish this, unless they get assurances from Iran could just keep bombing people. They don't
Correct.
give a yeah, they don't get like just because the United States decided they're done doesn't mean Iran decided they're done, right? Like, I mean, like, that's just so yeah. This is craziness. I don't see an off ramp. I don't see like, especially they're killing all the negotiators. So
Right.
like that's not a good plan. So yeah,
But
I don't see a good off ramp.
Here's the last thing that I'll say about this to wrap this up. Okay. Let's just hypothetically say that the military aspect of this ends right now, today. All of the military
only.
engagement ends today. All Iran has to do, which they're already doing, is control the straits. If they restrict the straits, that
Yep.
impacts the entire global economy.
Yeah.
Right. And if it lasts long enough, it could last years to recover. So, and that's with no military engagement at all. All they do is restrict and make it difficult to get things through the strait, and it shuts down the entire Gulf states in terms of moving energy around. It affects
Jeff
China.
Bezos and his Amazon drones would disagree, but whatever.
It affects China, Russia, Africa, the Pacific Southwest, the United States. It affects everything. And it has a domino effect that they will not recover from for years. Okay. We're already at that point if it ends today.
Right.
So this has already reached a catastrophic point if they ended today. And you know they're not going to. There's no end in sight. So imagine where this is going right now.
Buy food and fuel, people. Buy fuel.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Stock up on bullets.
Voicemails. Here we go.
8, you said. God, I'm sorry it took so long.
Number one.
Gentlemen, this is Ben Shapiro, and this is how I talk. Tony, sorry to miss your call. I was on the other line with Mark Levin, but give me a call back. I just wanted to say you were great on the show. It was great to have you. Wanted to find out when you were going to come back on the show. We appreciate all your support. One team, one dream. Please give me a call. If you miss me, just talk to one of my staff. We're definitely going to get you back on the show. You were fantastic.
That doesn't sound at all like Ben Shapiro.
No, I
He
liked
said
how he referenced immediately, this is how I sound. So yes, this is
how I talk.
he
That's how I talk.
said, Ben Shapiro just said, this is how I sound.
Okay.
So you can't
All right.
question it. That's amazing.
All right, let's go 30.
Hey, just real quick. Hang on before you go to the next one. Tony, did you go on Ben Shapiro's show as a guest? When did that happen?
I didn't.
Oh, that's because he said you did.
Oh,
Well, it must be mistaking me for somebody. That happens all the time.
it happens all the time. Yeah. Tony G.
My
sex-
giant Junos.
Never know.
There's another international sex kitten out there somewhere.
No, not on this level, but
Okay, all right.
Here we go.
Hey guys, this is Mark Levin. I was calling for Tony. Tony, I'm really sorry that I was on the phone with Ben when you were trying to call Ben. But we're off now. Give him a call back. You were awesome on his show. Really, really great. So please give him a call back. Want to hear you on there again. Also, would you like to come on my show? Give me a call. All right, Mark Levin. Peace.
Dunskies.
Again, I feel like I'm being mistaken for someone else, but
Interesting.
Are you thinking about going on Mark Levin show? That'd be great.
well, I wasn't before just now, but now
He's
I
got
am
a huge
thinking
audience.
I
Be great for-
probably better.
It'd be great
And I'll
for
be
Mark.
honest, I'm gonna go on there and I'm gonna do nothing but shill Dad's Worldwide.
He has a huge audience of people of 65 or older.
Hey, look.
But Brendan,
one
I
day
feel like
I'll
that's
be
the demographic
65
we're
or
not
older.
reaching here.
Yeah, it's
And
true. We definitely
I'm
not reaching
65
that
or older,
demographic. That's
when
fair.
I'm 65 or older and I'm no longer an international sex kitten, but like a mountain lion,
Mm.
like I'll still need to appeal to those people. So I will do the show, regardless if you've mistaken me or not.
Okay. Fair enough. All right, here we go with the next one.
Okay.
Hey guys, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. And this is how I talk. Calling for Tony. Tony, wanted to thank you for your time. Really great strategy sesh recently.
You're welcome.
I really love Zoom. Super efficient. However, would love to put you on a plane and get you over here so we can meet in person. Also, heard you on Ben Shapiro's show.
Oh,
Unbelievable. Really fantastic.
This is
Thanks for the
amazing.
encouragement. Thanks for the support. Would love to see you on there again. Also, talking to Mark Levin the other day.
It's a lot of
Heard he wants
also.
to have you on his show. Great idea.
Oh.
Get out there, spread the message. Thanks, Tony. Dunskies.
this
A lot of Dunsky.
is Barbie Nutella Yoo-hoo and
Sounds kind of
Dooskies.
Wisconsin-y. I'm just
Yeah.
saying.
It's weird
Tony, I'm-
how all three of these guys sound so similar.
It's weird. Yeah, it is very weird.
I'm actually, given this conversation we just had, I'm shocked to find out that you're actually a huge supporter of what's going on right now.
I'm apparently a huge Zionist, and I didn't even know it.
Well, Brendan's a terrorist, we determined. So if you're
Well,
a
I
Zionist,
mean, we knew that.
yeah. So Brendan's a
Wow.
terrorist and you're a Zionist. So, boy, what else are we going to discover?
Well,
Let's
it's
find
anybody's
out.
ball game at this point.
Find out.
Hey guys, Mark Levin again.
Mark Levin.
Sorry, Tony. I was on the phone, and then somebody called on the other line, and I
Of
tried to
course.
got there late. Wasn't sure if it was you or not. It's you. Sorry about that. Give me a call back.
Right.
Dunsky.
No, I get it. Yeah, no, that was the right move. That was
You guys
definitely
having
the
a
right move.
hard time connecting?
Right. Apparently, no. When Yoo-Hoo and Mark were playing phone tag with me, and I'm just over here having a bubble bath, right? They just missed me.
Yeah.
So it's my
That's fair.
fault, but I need a little R&R. So I'll get back to both of them, I promise.
Okay. All right.
All right, here we go. Next one.
Being the biggest Zionist in the
Yeah.
room.
Christian Zionist.
Yeah, Christian.
Hello, gentlemen. President